Fine, I will confess.
You will? But then why are you so calm?
This time I will tell the truth. It is true that the detective arm wrote down my ID number. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked, but it did not detonate the bomb. Detective arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad. Hee hee hee. Ha ha.
I see. So it is your assertion that you merely moved the body, is that it?
Charge this man with tampering with a crime scene and tampering with a corpse. My God, those are still illegal.
That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm.
We don't need to. We'll get him on this one.
Oh, well, if that's all you did, then, wait a minute. That in and of itself is a criminal act.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. Thank you. Ah! He realized the thing. Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor.
Very well, then. Your cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright.
The truth. Gonna press the crap. Yeah? Is it true? So you admit that you actually did see the bloody writing the detective arm left?
My bad. I should have said so from the outset.
And you're sure it was your ID number?
I'm sure it was definitely my ID number. That number was assigned exclusively to me by the police department. The number is assigned to my goggles as well.
So those funky things were provided by the police department?
Although these are special goggles, customized by me personally, they let me see things in 3D.
Whoa, 3DS, whoa, whoa, 3DS, whoa. Speaking of personalized, these sunglasses of mine were custom made as well. Nobody cares, Payne. No one cares. They were specially created to be particularly dark and shiny.
Speaking of special, my gavel is made of mahogany and was custom made as well. It's engraved. I've got my initials on one side. They were a gift to me from myself. Especially created to make a particularly loud and resonating sound. Every time I click it, it gives me such a nice feeling. I get shivers. Ooh, ooh.
Wish I had something to brag about. I got a badge that it looks kind of like a flower. It's pretty. But be all of that as it may, I just want to reconfirm that you saw the bloody writing clearly, and that it was your ID number.
That is correct. And my ID number was written in blood on the floor. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was shocked.
Shocked. L10015R. And it was written after the bomb went off in the courtroom?
Correct. I didn't know why she would write it, so that sent me into a panic.
Sounds like you were in quite a tizzy. Ooh, like when I bang my gavel. I get in such a tizzy.
If I were in his shoes, I guess it would have psyched me out too. I can't imagine coming across the message, "Sykes," written in blood. Only written in lights, that's all I want. If I saw "gasp in pain" written in blood, I'd certainly make a gasp in exasperation. Rest assured, Mr. Tonate, I understand how you must have felt.
And so you discovered your ID number written in blood at the scene, and...
That is right, I saw it with my own eyes. It very clearly said L10015R. But it did not detonate the bomb.
Did you set us up the bomb? Didn't you? The victim may have had special knowledge of who the bomber was.
I have no idea what thoughts Detective R may have had inside her head. They were quickly smashed out of her head. It is not like I ever dismantled her mind to check.
Mr. Wright, if you had suspicions about the witness, let's see your proof. Evidence is everything in a court of law. Even school children know that. How many years have you been a defense attorney now? Cut me some slack, will you? Don't feel bad, boss. You just got your attorney's badge back, after all. Did you lose it? I'm missing things. In that sense, you're still more of a beginner than I am. Suppose I should be thankful you're not a licensed psychologist.
Mr. Tonate, please continue with your testimony.
With pleasure. My ID number was left at the scene, but... Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad.
My bad. Does he really think that will just magically smooth everything over? This guy's something else. And I don't believe Detective Arm's dying message was just some mistake. He won't wriggle out of this that easily. What did Mr. Tonate see when he first discovered the bloody writing? There has to be a contradiction hidden in this testimony somewhere. Okay, wrote the ID number, plainly wrote that, but I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad. I moved the body and covered my writing. But she didn't very plainly write that. She didn't very plainly write it because it's obstructed because the R was missing. The R is gone. It would have been L10015, but there's a hole that got happened by the blast. This is it. It's the photo. It wasn't clear. I just want to make doubly sure that L10015R is really what you saw written in blood.
Yes, it very clearly said L10015R.
But that's odd, because that's not what I see. What on earth are you babbling on about now? I don't know. It's John Travolta over here. Wasn't it you who claimed that the bloody writing was his ID number in the first place? Take a good look at the photo in the bloody writing analysis. Now tell me, does it really say L10015R?
Oh.
Eep. Something's missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Tonate?
Oh, right, now I remember. There was no R on the end. It was just a slip of the finger, my bad.
Come back, my beautiful contradiction. Come back. Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger. You have something for me, Athena? I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked. He started chewing on a bomb. Don't chew on bombs, kids. If you find a bomb, do not chew on it.
He
does look pretty flustered, I'll say.
Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake.
From someone who you've already caught lying multiple times, you're gonna accept a typo. What about that R? Did Mr. Tonate really see it? He actually saw it. Maybe Mr. Tonate really did see the R, but there's no R anywhere in the bloody writing. What's going on here? You can see, I can see there was an R there. It broke. Now that I take another good look at the photo, I think maybe. That's it. I will teach that lesson to Jay. I'll tell him, his first word will be don't chew on bombs. Imitate Apollo and his cords of steel? Wow. I've got it. So that's what happened. A slip of the finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. I propose that Mr. Tonate really did see the letter R.
Exclamation point.
But the photo clearly shows that there is no R. There are no R. No R. There's...
No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite is true. The photo shows that Mr. Tonate actually could have seen the R.
If you're going to make that claim, then you'd better be able to point out what you mean. What part of the photo shows that Mr. Tonate could have seen the R?
Why, the pirate, of course. Where the things are missing. This one's not hard. Please look to the right of the 5. Do you see a little bit of red? You got red on you.
Oh, I see it. Just on the edge where the floor is broken up.
That's the R that Mr. Tonate saw. It's true that the witness wears some very, very odd goggles, but that doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. It's because it was written before the explosion. What part of that little smudge looks like an R to you? What Mr. Tonate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole and complete R written there. Before the floor was damaged by the explosion.
Ka-cha-cha-chow! Oh, well, that explains it. Huh?
Care to explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the exact opposite order. Yep, because that's the way it really went down. The timing of when the R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, when was the message written? Biggity before the explosion. With the bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion.
But that's ridiculous.
If that were true, it overturns your own premise.
That's right. It does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. In fact, I'm going to stand on my head. The victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred. She was murdered. Intentionally.
Order. Order in the court.
What kind of preposterous claim is that? Have you forgotten that the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion?
True, but consider this scenario. She was hit in the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way it could be made to look like she was a victim of the blast.
What?
It sounds like we'd better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see Detective Arm before the trial?
Let's see. According to the police report, here it is. One person saw the victim before the trial, and that person was Ted Tonate. Wait, what?
No one besides Mr. Tonate saw the victim?
That appears to be the case, Your Honor.
Would ask the court to recall something. Specifically, Mr. Tonate's words from yesterday.
It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb.
Oh my!
Mr. Tonate, just before the trial, you were with the victim. The two of you were together at the scene of the crime, courtroom number 4. Your Honor, the defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tonate. New testimony? We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial. Oh, we got this guy. We got him.
No testimony, there was no need for. Well, you got for the V8 here.
Input that code for 15% off on Nintendo.com. Just kidding, they don't give discounts. He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. You must have hit the nail on the head.
Because all I did was transport the bomb to the courtroom. I already told you,
Blast this thing! I was only in the courtroom with the victim because of our work. I swear I was only transporting the bomb there. You and the victim were alone together at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not?
Do you always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright?
What now, Mr. Payne? Are you even here?
Yes, Mr. Tonate may have had the opportunity to declare Detective Arm, but an important piece of your assertion is missing. What important piece? The murder weapon. What do you claim was used to kill the victim?
Mr. Payne has a point. Even if Mr. Tonate had the chance, without a weapon, we can't accuse him of the crime.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You definitely can. Well, Mr. Tonate? Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. I didn't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. I couldn't possibly have killed Detective Arm. Did he really have nothing he could use as a murder weapon? What is it, Athena? Just looking over the victim's autopsy report, I'm hoping there's something in here that can point us in the right direction. Well, it does say that she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object. Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need is a flat surface, right? A heavy, blunt object with a flat surface. Did he kill her with the bomb?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Arm?
It's either the bomb or the bomb, detector device. I believe I can. Believe being the key word here.
You can? Then please do so now. What did Mr. Tonate have that could have been used as the murder weapon?
So, I think it could be the missing remote switch, but the remote switch is probably not very heavy. The heaviest thing that we've specifically said weighs about 12 pounds and is pretty heavy, that they keep talking about, is the HH3000. Yes. Let's... Mr. Tonate, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a weapon, but in fact, you had the perfect thing.
What? What the devil are you talking about?
You had this.
That's the bomb! I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast.
The bomb blast, no, but I believe Candace Arm was killed with this bomb. Because this is the blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Please recall the description of Detective Arm's head wound. Trauma to the back of the head caused by impact with a flat object. We assume this injury was sustained when her head hit the floor. But a blow from any flat side of this bomb would produce the exact same wound pattern. What's with him?
Then show me some proof! Where's the evidence that I hit the victim with the bomb?
He's right. I don't have anything decisive.
Did you find any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. But too bad the bomb is blown to bits. It's long gone. Boom! Game over! Yeah!
Ugh. Mr. Wright, is there really nothing on the bomb in the photo? I don't see any blood or anything. Wait, the timer display is a little broken here. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Arm's head. That's definitely a distinct possibility, but unless we find a fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count. Ugh. I guess you're right. By setting off the bomb, Tonate managed to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? At times like this, I've got to change gears and look at things in a different way. Instead of looking for things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose the things he did hide. Ted Tonate murdered Detective Arm before the trial started. Then he placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off, which means there was something he needed to keep hidden until then. And I think I have just the thing. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tonate had to hide. After I save my game because I don't know what that is. Photo, photo, photo. What is in the photo? What are we trying to hide? Was it not the rock?
Is it on his case? The body? Her body? That's a good guess. You know what? Let's just present something and see what happens. If the murder took place before the trial, then Mr. Tonate would have had to hide the body somewhere during the trial. Hey, you're right. And if we can figure out where the hiding place was, exactly, we might be able to find some evidence we can pin him down with. So where could Mr. Tonate have hidden the body during the trial? In his case! Open your case, please! Wait, a box big enough for a body. A box that was in the courtroom the whole time. A box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Mr. Tonate.
What is it? Do you finally have some decisive evidence to show me?
No, you're the one who's gonna show it to me.
Come again.
You heard me. Now show me what's inside that bomb transport case.
What? Why? No! There's no need!
I've got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object, and then you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like she died in the explosion. But where was the body hidden during the trial? In the words of Howie Mandel, open the case.
Oh! Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, I'm gonna use my hammer.
The answer's right here. Inside a box of thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact.
No, that's completely false. No!
If it's false, you should have no objections to showing us your transport case. So, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall we? Open the box! Open the box! Open the box! Open the box!
Let's not. Not if you value your life.
Are you gonna bomb us? Are you gonna blow us up?
Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes.